So the Blanco generally is unaged, so that's the agave in its purest form. That's ideally why I like mixing with it the most, is because it's not touched by oak, it's not touched by anything else but agave. So it's agave in its purest form, and it's, I think, the best one to mix with for that reason. Now the barrels really change it up. So Reposados, the Blancos, or the tequila sits anywhere from 3 months to a year in a barrel. So you can do a young Reposado or an old Reposado, and there's 9 months of difference in between. So it really switches up. I mean, it really mellows out over the course of time. So by the end of 1 year, I mean, it's a very different tequila than it was when you put it in the barrel. So, and then añejos are anywhere from 1 to 3 years in a barrel. So they really mellow out after 3 years, and it almost gets into the bourbon category where you get a little more peat, a little more barrel, a little more oak, and so yeah, I think there's a tequila for everyone. And I think even as a Scotch or a bourbon drinker, if you pick a nice añejo, I think you can pick some things out that you would in a bourbon or a Scotch for sure. Tequila's over, I mean, you're starting to see more 10 and 12 year tequilas for sure. It's called an extra añejo when it's anywhere more than 3 years. 5 years is kind of the sweet spot with tequila. Anything more than 5 years, it starts to get really sweet, and it starts to lose a lot of that agave flavor, and it becomes more just oak and more barrel. So I'm a fan of Reposados just because it's the perfect balance of Blanco and añejo. It's just a touch of oak. But yeah, after 11 years, I mean, it's 10 years, it's like candy. It's just almost too sweet to drink. Most often they do char barrel, and then, I mean, a lot of distilleries will use different barrels as well. I mean, Casa Noble is probably my favorite brand of tequila, and they use brand new French oak barrels. Chinaco uses Jack Daniel's barrels. So people are doing, I mean, it's all kind of up to the distillery what they're aging their tequila in, and it really does bring a very different thing to each tequila. So you're starting to see a movement with Chardonnay and Pinot Noir barrels as well. So they're going to start aging in wine barrels, which I haven't personally tried, but I've been hearing about them. So I'm curious to see what that does to them.